In this video, I'm going to walk you through the process of having Excel create a frequency histogram. The first thing that I'm going to do is set up a column here called size class labels. And the entries in this column are going to be the labels for my size class that I would put onto my graph. So the particular data set I'm working with here are the frequency distribution of a certain type of tree called the hophorn beam. It's the same process no matter what your data are. So I'm going to enter my size class labels. I've got my first size class is going to be trees that are 2.5 centimeters to 7.4 centimeters. My next size class is going to be 7.5 centimeters to 12.4 centimeters. And I've got a bunch of other size classes. I would just enter all of those values in the same way. The next column is something called bins array. And what bins array is the column that tells Excel, these are the size classes that I want you to group together. And the value that you type in the bins array column is always the largest value from your size class labels column. So I want to group trees that are 2.5 centimeters to 7.4 centimeters together. So I'm going to enter 7.4 as my first value in the bins array column. I want to group trees that are 7.5 centimeters to 12.4 centimeters. I'm going to enter that as the second value in my bins array column. And again, I would repeat this for each size class. I actually have these set up, so I'm just going to cut and paste them in so I don't have to do that typing here. The next column I'm going to have is I'm going to call it frequency, and this is where I'm going to get Excel to actually put the information. You use the frequency function to do this, and the frequency function, again, is with every function. You tell Excel this is a function by typing equal sign, the word frequency, put in a parentheses, and the first piece of information that I'm going to add is the data array. And the data array is just me highlighting the column of data without the header. So I'm going to move down my column of data and highlight all of that. And it's a large data set, so I'm scrolling down several rows. Yep, here's the end of the data set. Notice that I've got lots of places in my data set where I don't have a value. Excel will just ignore those and only use the cells that have a number in them. So here's my data array. It goes from, in this particular case, column E2 to E264. I'm then going to type in a comma, and then I'm going to enter the bins array. And the bins array are these values that I've set up here in the bins array column. So I'm just going to highlight those. I'm going to close the parentheses and hit return or enter, and I get a number. And if I actually counted these up, I would find out that I do have 22 trees that are in the size class 2.5 centimeters to 7.4 centimeters. I want to get this formula or a version of this formula into all of my into all of my cells for all of the other size classes. But rather than drag and fill, I have to use a special Excel trick. This special Excel trick is to highlight the column where I've got my formula. And rather than drag and fill that formula down, I just highlight the rows. And notice that I highlight one beyond my bins array down here because I've got my catch-all here. What Excel will do is take anything that is bigger than the last value in my bins array column of 52.4 and put it into this cell that's everything that's greater than 52.5. All right, so I've highlighted this number and I've dragged it down, and then the secret Excel command to get it to actually fill these data in, it's a two-step process. I'm going to type Control-U, those two keys at the same time, so Control-U, and notice it's highlighted my bins array, it's put my formula here, and then I'm going to type Command Z return, and again that's the three keys are pressed at the same time, so Command Z return. Where's my error? There. Command first, Z, then return, and here are my numbers. So I've got 22 trees in my size class 2.5 to 7.4, 20 trees in my size class 7.5 to 12.4, 9 trees in 12.5 to 17.4, so on and so forth. If I'm going to create the frequency histogram from this, I'm going to go up to my charts. I'm going to have it as a column chart, like this. Move that out of the way. And then I'm going to right-click on my chart. Oh, why won't it work? There it is. Select the data. Remove this blank series. I'm going to add a data series. My Y values are my frequencies. My X-axis labels are my size class labels. Hit OK, and here's my graph. Again, this is not a professional quality graph, but I can clearly see my frequency histogram. And that's how you can get Excel to do a frequency histogram.